Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or cod, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Welcome everyone to Talking Fishing, a big show coming your way tonight, including plenty of people in Catch of the Week who mustn't have been Tiger supporters who fished last weekend. You can tell because they look sober in their pics. We take a look at some of the fishing comps coming up on the Melb Cup weekend, and we head up to Snobs Creek and have a look at how the staff prepare for Murray Cod spawning season. All that and plenty more. So let's get into it with a big welcome to the man who travels by kayak, Adam Ring. Welcome, Ads.
Thanks, Dave. Footy season over.
Thank God for that.
Congratulations to all the Richmond supporters.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's good.
And all the Storm supporters.
Yep. Big weekend, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. And it's always a big welcome to the man all the way from Shepparton, Stephen Victor Trelford. Welcome, Trelly.
Thank you very much, Dave. And yes, the Tigers fever was statewide. It really was statewide.
Even in Shepparton, they got excited about the Tigers.
Yeah, there'll be kids born in 9 months' time. All sorts of stuff,
The sheep got the hammering?
Oh, the sheep and cocks and crows. Yeah, well, not to go to crows, but yeah. I shot a few crows off telephone poles.
Was it not good for football having someone like the Tigers win?
I
mean,
huge.
I was there for the Bulldogs last year, and that was fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But there's 10 times as many Tiger supporters, and the town just went wild, didn't it?
It did. We had a few reports of Richmond down at Swan Street, Richmond. I reckon it was just chaotic.
Can only imagine.
But I tell you what, a lot of people took the advantage of a long weekend to get away, and a lot of people caught some good fish on the weekend too.
Yeah, the snapper finally, the top end of Western Port is absolutely on fire.
Many people, and wasn't it good to see people like they do? I don't care what you say about the Friday long weekend, whether it could be a Monday or a Friday, doesn't matter. People took advantage, and Thursday afternoon the caravans were loaded, the trailers were loaded, and people went away for the weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, just very quickly before we roll on into Catch of the Week, I want to play a quick game to start the show.
Here we go.
Right?
Yeah. Here we go.
A word association game.
We're going to Catch the Week coming up in a
minute. We're going to play video association.
Yeah,
Dave,
okay.
I want you to watch very closely.
Yeah.
Now, this will all make sense shortly. There's a very rich story behind this video. Now, for those of you who didn't tune in last week, we catch up for a meal before every show, and Dave thought it would be a brilliant idea to order snails last week. So, Dave, how did that end for you?
Not good.
Do you want me to tell you?
It was like my guts were exploding at about midnight, and about 20 past 1 they did explode, I can tell you. And, wasn't a good ending last week. So we had for dinner, we had pippies and snails, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, you had snails and pippies. I had pippies.
Never again. Never ever.
Nah.
Well, and Guts Charlie come out, right?
All I got was the day was text from you, Dave, going, I'm not feeling real
Struggling.
good. I'm not feeling good.
I think I've said a few other words too. There we go. Not eating snails. Folks, let's have a look at what's being caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano, providing reliable, trustworthy, quality fishing gear for your enjoyment.
And we'll kick it off, like you said, Ads, the snapper. Now, the bay is still very, very cold in the scheme of things. Yet to be influenced much by the warmer tides or the warmer currents that come down. But that didn't stop a lot of anglers getting out in the bay. And let's stick with Port Phillip for starters. Up at Williamstown, should I say, up in the warmer water. Kelly Marie got a lovely 5 kilo snapper, and I tell you what, you don't sneeze at that. What a fantastic fish that is.
Yeah, that's right, and that's I guess pretty typical of Port Phillip Bay. The northern end, I guess, sort of turning it on beforehand, but great fish, Kelly. Really
Lovely.
good.
Quite a few females featuring in Catch of the Week tonight, which is good to see. And I know the state government was keen to hear from female anglers. Get onto their Facebook page and have a look at that, Victorian Fisheries Authority, because they do want to hear about females, why they fish, why they don't fish, that sort of stuff. And I know Kelly's started a Facebook page, Kelly Marie Fishing. Look it up on Facebook and like the page, because she's just going to promote women fishing. It's good to see.
Definitely.
So get onto that. Alison and Nick, they headed out on Western Port aboard Think Big with Sean Ferdier. And
Nice.
you always get rewarded when you go out with Sean.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
a look at that for a snapper. Beautiful.
Look at the colour on it.
Look at the lips on it.
It is a good looking snapper, Charlie.
It is.
Isn't it?
Gives another meaning.
Yeah.
Catch of the week.
Yeah. Alrighty, they keep getting bigger. 81 centimetres was this one. Mark Whitford, he was up the top end of Western Port, and again, a beautiful. Don't you love seeing the snapper this time of year? They're clean,
Yeah,
they're
are.
pure.
Yeah.
You know, they've probably swam 1,000 k's in the ocean or whatever, and they just look so good.
Nice fish, Mark.
Yeah, very
That top
well.
end, we're getting a few reports through our stores too, because the people who originate from Malta keep it a bit quiet this time of year. And I just got the report from Caesar today, and they're probably going to kick me out of the shop when I get back there. But the snapper are going around.
The top end of
The top
Port
end.
Phillip as well, yeah, because it's generally, you know, a degree warmer up there.
that's right.
Charlie.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
you've it just seems to warm up.
Yeah.
You've got fresh water coming in from the Yarra, the Maribyrnong, things like that, and it just does seem to heat up a little
Cryo
bit.
Bay off the rocks last week.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of weeks now up to there. So yeah.
Maybe some people from Geelong area and Altona should send us more reports, Charlie, because we never get anything.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to tell you how in a minute. But Joelle was another female angler that got out at Coronella for a 5.3 kilo snapper. Have a look at that. That again,
Yep.
making me jealous.
Yeah, they're all good fish, aren't they? There's
Yeah.
no small ones.
Tell you what.
I would have had a better day doing that than going to the races on Sunday. I can tell you,
Probably
Caulfield
nearly
wasn't
13
good.
pound on the
Remember
old
it.
scale.
Hey,
Nearly 5.3 kilos, probably nearly 13 pound on the old scale.
good fish.
Pretty
Pretty
great fish.
Chris also got out on the snapper out of Hastings on the weekend, and I was just throwing these photos together. When I looked at the slides today, ready to go up on the television, I thought, that's Chris.
Yeah.
We know Chris.
Yeah, I know. I wish our computers worked, Chris.
Pity all the girls. Pity all the girls beat him. Good work, Chris.
Well done,
Good on
Chris.
you, Chris.
Brendan Torpy, he did a bit of land-based fishing on the weekend, 4 and 5 kilo respectively, land-based in Western Port, boys. Do you know where?
Great effort in Western Port, Dave.
Not giving away any secrets
No,
there.
great effort, especially land-based.
Yeah. Anyway, it wasn't off the Tooradin jetty, I can tip you. Have a look at this now. Everyone
I love
does.
this photo.
Everyone focuses on snapper and goes, "Oh, snapper season, snapper." In fact, a few people said at the shop last week because we were doing something with squid rods and stuff like that, Charlie.
Yeah.
And someone said, "But it's snapper season." I said, "No, have a look
Yeah.
at this because snapper will be around for the next few months."
That
But
is one of
these
the
babies are
best.
only around for about a month
Ooh.
or two. And have a look at that. Tyler Kermey got a beautiful calamari off the Tyab.
That is one of the best photos of a calamari. Look at the size of
Yeah.
It's huge.
How would that be? 2 kilo?
Oh, easy.
Yeah,
Easy.
maybe more. That's a good squid.
Yeah.
That's a nice. Yeah.
It's a nice squid. And Trelly, you had a couple of young visitors into your shop in Shepparton. They are fans of the show and they headed up your way. They went on to the
did.
Murrumbidgee River, Heath and Cody Bidgood, and they got some cracker yellows on the weekend up at the Murrumbidgee. I'm not sure exactly
Yeah.
where they went, but
Yeah, I think that went near Hay. If memory serves me
You
correctly,
said the
but I do
town.
remember the couple of young chaps come in with their
Yeah.
dad, and
Heath and
got
Cody
few
had a good weekend.
tips
Did
and
all
hints,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Is that the same photo that was up a second ago? I looked away.
That's
different.
Cody
long-
or Heath, yeah. But
Yeah.
Massive tail on that.
This
Long
time of year,
tails on it.
Yeah.
yeah, this time of year is going to because it's the yellow belly just starting to kick in. Murrumbidgee probably a little bit more. It's going to warm up a little bit quicker up there.
Yeah.
So nice water up there.
Yeah. Again, I haven't heard a lot out of Lake Eildon for yellows. I mean,
No.
do you know
No,
what? I
it's
reckon
been
some
a
people
little bit
that go up
quiet.
there, they're still going for cod.
Yeah,
They're just
Yeah.
targeting cod, and they're using lures this long now.
exactly. yeah.
I don't think they're going to get yellows on that, but anyway.
Yeah.
If you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au.
And next on Talking Fishing, fisheries news, including info on a couple of snapper fishing comps coming up on Cup Weekend right after this.
talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wear the line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing. Every day's a chance to drift away.
Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See it down and tackle world today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Live from the studios of Channel 31 Melbourne, it's now time for some very fishy news.
Bit of news, boys. I'm not sure whether everybody at home knows, but Victorian Fisheries Authority are running some significantly sized kids fishing days. And they've already held 3. They held Lilydale Lake, Albert Park Lake on Sunday, and Lake Eildon for the opening of the trout season. So they've had 3. Yep. And there's another 3 coming up, which we'll show you the details now. The next one is at Mordialloc. Oh, is that the next one?
Well, so it's Mordialloc Pier, 15th of October.
Oh, yeah. This is a bit out of order what I've got here. So
right.
The next one's the 15th of October. It's Mordialloc Pier. It is Gone Fishing Day,
That's
boys, on that day, the 15th of October. Rex Hunt will be attending all of these, by the way. So if you want to catch up with Rex and get the kids along, it's just a fantastic event. The first 200 children to each event will receive a free rod and reel as well. So that is a fantastic thing. The government's putting rods and reels in kids' hands. So you've got Mordialloc Pier on the 15th of October. The week after, on the Sunday, the 22nd, someone must be going to Bathurst or something like that. Next week, it's not on next weekend. The next one's at Morwell, Curnow Hall in Morwell. While you're down there, go and see the Mayor of Morwell, Mick. He also Prezioso. He also works at Tackle World in Mornington. And what did I say?
Mornington.
Morwell. Mornington, Morwell, same thing. And on the 29th of October, Maryborough Lake, Victoria, which is the name of the lake in Maryborough.
Nice.
There you go, 10 o'clock each Sunday morning. You get down to Mordialloc, Morwell or Maryborough for those events. Pretty good. Couple of fishing comps coming up, as if you didn't know.
That time of year.
Now that I think everybody would be aware by now, and if you don't, you're about to find out that the tea tree is no longer on. And first time in, I reckon that was up to 33 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Not sure, but anyway, tea tree is not on. They're having a rest, and a couple of other comps have come onto the scene for the Melbourne Cup weekend. The first one is the 2017 Big Red Snapper Comp, run by the Brighton Central Angling Club. Always a great competition. It's been around for years. Yep. Doesn't quite say...
Strictly limited, 500 entrants.
Only 500 entrants.
$60,000 worth of prizes to be won.
There's a car and a boat. Charlie.
Nice.
It's not bad.
That's mad.
Open to both Port Phillip and Western Port. First prize $3,000, second prize $1,500, third prize $750. It's held at the launching way in Carrum, so that's where I think all the big weigh-in and all that sort of stuff. Entries are open now. You can book online. We'll put all those details. They're up on your screen now, but we'll put them up on our social media tomorrow. Talking Fishing on Facebook. All the details are up there. But a great comp, been run for years, and there you go. That's that one. Now, a new competition that started up is the Peninsula Snapper Challenge, and it's going to be run also Saturday 4th of November, Sunday 5th of November. It's they claim the most sustainable snapper fishing competition. Big, take the photos on the brag mats style. Yep. $2,500 Tackle World shopping spree for first prize. 1 in 10 entrants win a lucky prize. They have some fantastic prizes, including you could win a fishing trip with AFL legend Dermot Brereton. I reckon that'd be a cracker to go to Dermy. Something different. Now, he did play... this is run by the guys down at the Frankston Bombers Football Club, and I know Dermy played for them many, many years ago. Plenty of Shimano gear also offered as prizes. The presentation is at the Frankston Bombers Football Club, which is only 15 minutes from Frankston, Hastings, Mornington and Patterson River ramps. Get on to peninsulasnapperchallenge.com and you can enter online. All the details are up there on that website. So a fantastic comp, brand new one, great presentation at a great venue at the Frankston Bombers Football Club.
I like it.
Very good.
Now have a listen to these gooses. Is that gooses or geese?
Geese.
Yeah.
But if they're people, they're
Gooses, because they're not very bright.
All right. So the headline is illegal abalone
Stick with that.
exchange costs divers dearly. 2 commercial divers who illegally exchanged abalone at sea have been fined a total of $3,500 and ordered to pay costs of $3,825 in the Frankston Magistrates Court. There are 34 licences and approximately 22 operators in the Central Zone, which has a total allowable commercial catch this year of 274 tonnes of black lip abalone and 3.4 tonnes of green lip. So what these guys did, the illegal abalone transfer, it was observed by fisheries officers following a short conversation between 2 divers in boats off Cape Schanck in March this year.
Observed.
Men in one boat dropped a catch bag of
Sign
abalone
language.
over the side, which was collected shortly after by a diver in a second boat. The diver who transferred the abalone exceeded quota. He failed to return abalone to the water and had no copy of his licence aboard. He was fined $2,000 without conviction and ordered to pay $1,850 in costs. The other guy, the diver who received the abalone, he provided inaccurate information on his docket and sold fish taken in contravention to the Fisheries Act and was fined $1,500 without conviction, ordered to pay $1,975. One deckhand was fined $1,000 and $1,858 in costs, while the other was ordered to pay $1,840 in costs and was released upon giving an undertaking of good behaviour for 12 months. These guys,
Undertaking.
they're dropping abalone over the side. Another boat's picking them up.
Yeah.
Did they not get their licences taken off them for doing that? Like,
And 3,500 dollars. What's that? About 35 abalone on the black market.
They're laughing. I think at the end of the day, they're laughing.
Pay the fine.
there you go. Now, boys, another exciting thing that happens this time of year is that Murray Cod spawn, Trelly. Did you know that?
Yes.
Because
Same with ostriches.
Richmond supporters.
Ostriches do.
Richmond supporters all week.
Apparently, yeah. There's a lot of kids. I bet you they're all named Dusty too. In 9 months' time,
I tell you what,
there'll be all these
they'll
kids
be
called Dusty.
2-year-old.
Yeah. But this time of year, and that's why the cod close season is on.
Correct.
Open season is closed, or closed season is whatever it is. But the cod spawn, and there's no difference between them doing that in the wild as up at Snobs Creek. So the cameras were up at Snobs Creek during the week, and I'm going to take a look at what they do when it's time for the cod to spawn. Have a look at this.
Murray cod is an iconic Australian native fish, highly prized by anglers. But it's also a species that's been under pressure because of changes to the environment, habitat destruction, pressure from introduced species, and in the past, some poor fishing practices. To give Murray cod populations a helping hand and improve opportunities for recreational fishers, we breed Murray cod here at our hatchery at Snobs Creek, not far from Lake Eildon. Each year, between September to November, several nesting boxes are placed in earthen ponds where large broodfish are kept year-round. These mature fish range in size from 70 to 100 centimetres, which is the optimal breeding size because they're the ones that produce the largest number of quality, healthy eggs. The nesting boxes simulate hollow logs, which are the preferred breeding spots for Murray cod in the wild. Each hexagonal box is covered in black plastic, which is removable. Regular inspections by hatchery staff reveal recent spawning events, and harvesting occurs throughout the 3-month season, depending on seasonal climatic conditions. During the spawning season, Murray cod lay thousands of small white eggs inside each nesting box. The eggs are sticky and adhere to the black plastic. The plastic is cut into segments on a template so it can estimate egg numbers. These are then transferred into incubation tanks inside the hatchery. Temperature controlled and oxygenated fresh water is pumped through the tanks to keep the eggs healthy and to maximise the number that hatch into larvae. This happens 8 or 9 days later. The larvae are transferred into rearing tanks and fed microscopic crustacea called Artemia, commonly known as sea monkeys, which we grow on site. After 2 weeks, the cod larvae are swimming strongly and feeding really well, ready for yet another transfer. This time outside to productive ponds, full of more live food. They remain in these ponds for up to 3 months. Each day, water temperature and oxygen levels are checked and the growth and health of the fish is constantly monitored. When the cod reach fingerling size, it's time to harvest and prepare them for transport and release. Staff are up around 4 AM to drain the ponds so the juvenile fish are moved during the coolest part of the day. The fingerlings gather in the sump and are collected for transfer to the hatchery one last time. The small fish remain in the hatchery tanks for 24 hours while they undergo a cleansing process to remove any microorganisms and to let them recover from any physical handling associated with the harvest. In recent years, annual Murray cod production from the hatchery has exceeded 500,000 fingerlings, with more purchased from private hatcheries if required to meet stocking plans. Finally, the cod fingerlings are ready for release into lakes and rivers throughout northern Victoria. Normally, the fingerlings grow to catchable size in 4 to 5 years following release, although this varies depending on the productivity of the waterway. Other native fish are grown at Snobs Creek as well, and include 2 endangered species, the quarry perch and trout cod. These breeding programs are mostly about helping the conservation effort, although developing recreational fisheries are on the agenda too. Growing Murray cod here at Snobs Creek greatly contributes to wild, healthy stocks, whilst enhancing opportunities for cod fishers. With funding help from recreational fishing licence fees and other government initiatives such as the Target 1 Million, we'll continue to produce Murray cod and other native fish species here, along with our trout, which are all highly regarded by anglers. This will ensure healthy populations of fish for future generations to enjoy the great outdoors, our environment and a wetter life.
Sea monkeys. Yeah. Feed them sea monkeys.
There is a use for them.
They're telling us we've got to throw to a break. Let's come back to sea monkeys. Up next, product of the week and all the info on this year's Mate's Day on the Bay. See you soon on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
Hi, David Kramer here. If you love talking fishing, why not get your company involved? Just go to talkingfishing.com.au and click the link to help support the show. Get on board today.
Talking fishing.
Product of the week, brought to you by Tackle World.
Talking fishing.
Now, it's been a very long time coming for this reel that I'm about to speak about now, and it is the Shimano Sustain Fi. Now, we've been anticipating this reel for at least 2 years that I can think of, and it's finally here, it's finally in our hands, and it's finally installed. But before we tear it apart, check out this real quick video and I'll let Shimano explain to you what's going on. Now that, boys, is the new Sustain. We've been waiting a long time.
This is exciting.
That's right. And if to be brutally honest with everyone, if there was ever a reel that was built for us Victorians, I really think it's this, because for the compact size and the amount of power, the saltwater guard, everything just ticks the boxes for what we do here in Victoria. I think this is going to be a pretty special reel. And there's also been a few surprises in the sizing game, I must say. No 1000 size. Now, I'm unsure on whether that's coming at a later date. And if you know, please, I'd love to.
Not that I've
We're not
heard
too
of.
sure.
No.
Or they've skipped that size completely and we see a 2500, which I've got right here, which is your standard 2500 size. We've grown to know and love through the Shimano staple. That is probably one of our most popular size reels in Victoria. Charlie, you've got the 3000 size, which is basically a little bit of a souped up 2500, same body size, a little bit deeper in the spool department, a little bit of a different handle configuration.
That's it.
And Dave, you're holding the 5000. Now there is a 4000, but we didn't bring it for two reasons. A, one, we've already sold it, and two, B, the 5000, the 4000 are the same size, but we're finding us Victorians are starting to lean towards the 5000 really, really nicely, because Dave, you get that really nice, comfortable, big power handle, and you're also getting that little bit of extra line, which is very, very popular with our Port Phillip Bay snapper fishermen, as they can still fit their 12 or 15 pound monofilament on there and still get plenty of line. So that's
You know
a cracker.
what's surprising me with this is, the other, I'd have to say my last favourite, because now I've got a new favourite, but my previous favourite 5000 reel was the Stratic FK.
Yep.
But I'm holding this, and I know body-wise it's probably about the same size, but it just doesn't feel like a 5000. This only weighs 285 grams.
That's right.
It is a lightweight, small, compact 5000, but 11 kilos of drag. This is a powerful reel.
That's right. So Dave, if you wanted to sneak out offshore in January, February, with a plastic or a sluggo or a little popper or something, you could quite easily tackle any of the kingfish out there with that little reel.
Absolutely, you could. Power handle. It almost feels like it's too small, too light, too compact.
Yeah.
But this is a ball of toughness.
That's right.
Like this is an amazing reel,
And there is a few little things on why we are so excited about it. This has the same saltwater protection as a Stella saltwater.
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're sneaking offshore, if you're copping a bit of spray in an open boat in Western Port or Port Phillip, you don't have to worry about salt water getting in and damaging it. Magnum light rotor, that's where we've got that little bit of weight reduction, but also the new transfer system in the bail arm. So it's a very easy and very smooth bail trip mechanism.
Yeah, clicks over very nicely.
Hagani gearing, Hagani body, which we've spoken about a lot. It just makes something that almost feels as though it was tailor-made for us. Now, Trelly, I know you're massively in a baitcaster market where you are with the Murray Cod.
Yeah.
Are you seeing any spin reels start to filter through? Is that sort of something that's coming, or?
We do, with the quality of them. It's the same old story. People have probably gone from overhead game reels to spin reels.
Yep.
We're getting a little bit the same with like bait casters and moving back to spin reels a little bit. Plus, like you said, a good point you said before, Ads, was with these couple of deeper spools and the 5000 that you've got there, Dave. A lot of people are shifting back to mono line.
Yeah.
So they're capable of taking a little bit of mono line. So very nicely thought out.
So what size would you see through the freshwater thing, whether it be for yellow belly or cod? I'm guessing yellow belly to be similar to our 25 and 3s.
Yeah, exactly. That 3000 size is perfect for our yellow belly and our redfin. But it's absolutely spot on. The taper in your spool and everything, the line just comes off. I just find even trout fishermen, with your 25 and this one, same size, and some of those little reels, you get a loop across the front. It just gives me the. Anyway, so because it
Gives
goes
you the snails.
Well, yeah, it does. And you've wound on another 10 yards, and your line goes flap, 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 flap.
Yeah.
Whereas a little bit bigger spool tends to eliminate that, and it comes off nice. Getting back to mono.
Very nice reel.
There you go. Pop in and have a look, because I think you'll be quite impressed. And it's actually put Sustain back on the map. It was almost becoming the forgotten reel of Shimano. It used to back when I started working for Tackle World, Dave, Sustain, the only better reel you could buy was a Stella.
Yeah.
But we've seen reels come and go. The Sustain's still there. It is now better than ever, and I suggest you get in and have a look because I'm pretty excited. I like it.
Very good. All right, let's keep moving on. A big event on in a couple of weeks' time is the 18th annual running of Mates Day on the Bay. The Future Fish Foundation will be hosting that. We've got all the details up there on the screen. We need more boats to help make this special day a very big success. It's on Sunday, 15th of October, which is actually Gone Fishing Day, the National Gone Fishing Day. If you have a boat, please get in contact with either Jack Sargent or Lynette Hogan. Their details are on the bottom of the screen there, but we will put this again up on our social media tomorrow. There is a briefing night next Wednesday night, not tomorrow night, but next Wednesday night at 7 o'clock at the Carrum Coast Guard. And if you can turn up on Sunday the 15th, it's a great event. Need to be down there at 7 o'clock, ready to take your guests out from 8 till 12. So that's that. The other big event coming up, boys, is the Talk Wild Trout Conference. That's coming up on, if I can read the screen there, 11th of November, which is week after the Melbourne Cup weekend, 9am till 4:30. It's on in Mansfield at the Performing Arts Centre, 15 in View Street. If you want to come along, please get onto the website vfa.vic.gov.au/talk trout, and you'll see all the details about how to book for that. But it's going to be a great event if you want to know the ins and outs of trout fishing. There you go. Up next, Kramer's Mailbag, right after this on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
Make mine a Mornington.
G'day, David Kramer here. I'm a massive fan of the Mazda BT50, having personally driven and owned one for more than 5 years now. And to tell you what, you can't beat it for an all-round great ute and a great tow vehicle. Get into Mornington Mazda before the end of the month and grab yourself a run-out bargain. I made mine a Mornington Mazda.
Make mine a Mornington Mazda.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
The things are going anyway. Plenty of mailbag, boys. Let's get into it. Dear Kramer, Snap writes this. That's his name. It says Snap, so it must be his real name.
Fair enough.
Snap. Probably
he's not as bright as a snapper. He's just Snap.
Think of something smart to say. My friend and I believe that pro fishermen or fishmongers spray a liquid of sorts, perhaps a preservative on fresh wet fish to enhance fish shelf life. And bought market baits such as pillies, gars, as such, are not good fishing baits. And the bagged fishing baits are not treated. That's all
Interesting
there is.
theory.
Has this crossed your viewers' minds in closer observation from Snap? So
First I've heard of it.
No, it's a good point because
Yeah, they might do.
well, butchers do, don't they?
butchers with the red meat allegedly put something on it to make it look better than what it is, or colour than what it is. But I don't know.
Interesting.
Just
Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't heard of it before.
If anyone
but
knows
it's
about it,
interesting.
let
I'll
us
go
know.
down the
I'm
market
sure they
in the
will.
crowd and ask them.
Lewis Condo. Lewis writes to us. Now, he wants to say thanks, guys, for the hotspot last week. So one person's been successful this year.
Which
That's
one?
good. No, Lewis. I've got a photo of Lewis up here. He was off Frankston
Nice.
on yesterday in 14 metres of water, which was our hotspot from last week.
correct.
Half a pilchard. He says the water temperature was 13.2 degrees.
Yep.
Thanks for the hotspot. Another fish at 2 kilos. One in the pick is 70 centimetres.
Nice.
Both caught at 11 a.m. And he also said, and this is a remarkable story from all around the bay, is there's a heap of bait out there. Now, there's a lot of bait. There's a lot of salmon.
Yep.
We've seen the schools off Mornington, certainly.
Correct.
There was a school in Cameron's Bight near the, just down from the marina, and people were casting off the sand and catching 2 to 3 kilos salmon off the sand on the beach at Blairgowrie.
How good is that?
They just said it was like a black mass walking up and down the beach patrolling.
Yeah. You can eat them, obviously, but you also use them as bait.
Yeah, a lot of
Bait
guys would get them for their
bikinis.
gummy baits
shark,
and stuff. Yeah. But amazing the amount of bait out there. So
good stuff.
Now Lee writes to us, Trelly, this is a serious one.
Yep.
Right. Watched a few episodes. I'm just reading it, how people write into us. Watched a few episodes, noticed the not so subtle anti-gay sentiment with comments during your show. What's the beef? do not realise that lesbians and gays fish too. Well, I do.
Yeah. Me too.
Charlie, that's all right. Just checking.
No, it's good he picked up on that point. Call me old-fashioned.
And Archie writes to us, the last two shows have been boring as bat droppings. Well, good on you, Archie.
Yeah, well,
we've had fun, I can tell you.
He wasn't listening to the yes/no vote, was he?
No, don't. Poor people will write to us, Charlie. Don't do that.
Oh, okay.
You're not allowed to do that.
All right.
If you'd like to write in to Kramer's Mailbag, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
Now, I want to ask you boys, right? Because we're lucky enough we have the Sustain, on the show, and we've had other models and that. So, what is your number one favourite fishing reel? Putting you on the spot.
Does
here.
it have to be
You
current?
go first.
No, it doesn't have to be current. No.
The Shimano Twin Power FB.
Jeez.
Favourite of all time.
What
I've
are they
still
up to
got
now?
two.
Twin Powers. FE?
Oh, maybe we should know that.
I know we should know.
I think it's about 2 models ago, but there was quite a
For the
big
people
break.
at home that don't
There's
realise, it's a bit like Holden's when you had the HG, the HK,
Yeah.
the HT, the HQ and all that. So fishing reels work the same, where they have the models and generally like an FI and an FG or a...
whatever. Yeah, I think Twin Power is a weird one because there was an FC model and then it was deleted for a little bit and then it came back as a saltwater model and then it got deleted again and then we saw another saltwater model and then we've only recently
So
just
if
got
that's
a
an
new one.
old model Twin Power...
You know your reels, don't you?
Love them.
He ought to. He works in a tackle shop. Unlike you and I, Shelley, we just attend.
No, I've got one.
But the Twin Power, if that's an old model, that would have been only really available in the Japanese domestic market and brought into Australia. Would I be right?
Possibly.
Being a Twin Power, because
that was back when Twin Power was I mentioned before when we were talking about the Sustain that there was a Stella, then the Sustain. There was then the Twin Power.
Yeah.
It was
okay.
marketed and it was actually made as one of the higher end reels.
Well,
Trelly?
mine would be the Calcutta 200 TEDC.
DC.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Which was the one that goes, the little electronic control cast, right? When you cast it, goes before it goes plop in the end of the water. But it was just, as far as casting was, and I use this a lot barra fishing and cod fishing, it was built like a Ford tractor gearbox. It was just unbreakable. It was simple inside. You could actually get in there and change a few things around, or change some drag washers if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. And it just cast. It just let go. It just beautiful reel. So that's not a current one.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's still real.
It's not that old though.
It's not that old.
No.
But it was just, you pick it up as you like. You picked it up every time, and it worked.
So, Trelly, are the days, because that's a drum style bait caster.
Yeah.
Are the days of those drum style bait casters gone?
Yeah, I think they are to a degree, but this one sat low. It was one of the ones that did sit low as opposed to some of the early ones. I must admit some of the lower profile ones do sit in your hand a lot easier. But this one for sort of like barra fishing.
Why do you say they're gone? Oh, well, I know you don't sell a lot these days, but why would... why would they be gone? What do people replace them with? And
the low profiles.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked Trelly. I mean, we're not in a huge bait caster market where we are, but I mean,
this wasn't uncomfortable, but as a high
yeah, that's right.
It wasn't an uncomfortable one. That was.
I remember only about 2 years ago, Casey Stoner bought a heap of Calcuttas.
Yeah.
He must just have a thing for them as that nice reel, and they look classy.
Yeah, that's right. These ones were silver with the gold on the inside of the spots on the top.
These ones were all gold. These ones, yeah.
Because there was I'm thinking of the Trinidad. There was a Trinidad DC as well.
Yeah,
that was silver.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway,
there you go.
And the Conquest now. The Conquest is very much silver. It's got a longer handle with the big knob.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yours?
Hang out with the big knobs.
My favourite one, Torsa.
Oh, the Torsa.
It's just like having
the Mack truck.
Yeah. It's just like having a bit of bling in your hand. That is absolute powerful. And I know a lot of people have gone away from overheads, particularly on their king fishing, and everyone's using spin now, and you can probably get away with we just talked about a 5,000 with 11 kilos of drag, but probably our most popular size now is either an 8 or a 10,000. A lot of people, I'd have to say, the last few years had 10s, the Saragosas and the Sustains and so forth, even the Stellas. But now people are going to 8s.
Yeah, it's true.
And the drag in 8s is pretty strong. But I still love an overhead reel, a Torsa 20 or a Torsa 30 for kingfish.
Because you feel as though you've got power in your hands with a Torsa. Whereas even with say, a Stella 18,000, you don't feel as though you've got power there.
How big was the gear on the side? The reel was sort of like, the spool was sort of
the gear was bigger.
But the gear was like this big behind it on the side, wasn't it? It was just like, hey, whoa, he's going to come in.
That interchangeable cam system. You can actually change
I have no idea how that
reel.
works.
You can change the specs of the reel by a cam. And you can't even, I don't even think you can buy it, to be honest.
Well, I don't think they make them anymore, but there's still the odd one around.
Yeah, great reel. I think you can still get the
stock.
reel, but I don't know if you can get the cams. I'm not sure.
Do you reckon you can still get the reel?
Yeah, I think so.
I've still got a couple, I reckon, in check.
I might have to get them off because I don't reckon we've got them. You reckon they're still making them,
I think so.
Shimano?
Yeah, I think so.
We'll have to check that and come back next week. But a lovely, lovely piece of bling for kingfish. I love it. Coming up next, this week's Hotspots. We'll be back shortly on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worslam's Tackle World Cranbourne. Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start. I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat. Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now the segment you've all been waiting for.
Hotspots, brought to you by Seamaster Batteries. Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Tell you what, I got excited today, boys.
Again. Is that why you got those shoes on?
That's twice this week, yeah.
Give me a look at your shoes, David.
Don't you ever get into me again, ever. At least I wear socks. At least I wear socks.
I had a big weekend. I had to wear shoes all weekend.
Or did you lose them?
Wore the skin off it. Wore the skin off the bottom of your feet too.
I got my work boots on tonight. Well, that's the way it is. Now, I got excited because I looked up the weather and actually saw that it's going to be all right on the weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
I think Saturday's looking like mint. I'm not sure about whether it's raining or sunny.
Doesn't matter. There's going to be no wind.
I think the next 4 days or 5 days is dead calm seas virtually. And I think it blows a little bit northerly on Sunday. And that's okay. Get out a little bit of north every now and then. But some sensational weather coming our way. Time to get out on those big calamari and early season snapper. And let's put you on some spots. Altona, we were talking about it earlier on, Trelly.
That's correct.
Well, there you go. It's popped up as a hot spot.
Yeah.
And Caesar will just be loving that.
Happy.
Plenty of expensive parking at Altona. Get down there.
At least it's worth it for the fishing.
I think they've gone up now, so they watched our show and they put it up to $80 a launch now at Altona. But there is some good snapper up that top end of the bay, and particularly, even if it is a northerly, you're a bit protected up that end of the bay. So very, very good off Altona. Try about 15 metres of water. The next one is Chelsea, 17 metres of water. Head out of Patterson Lakes or Mordialloc Creek and head down to Chelsea, 17 metres of water. Just find some structure out there. There's plenty of it.
And try and find a spot if it's going to be 5 knots on Saturday afternoon.
With a few people there.
That's what it's all about. That's what snapper fishing is.
Exciting.
You see him moving around. It's like, it's there to there to there.
Or one moves and 6 follow him.
Yeah, that's right.
He must know what he's doing.
As soon as someone catches a fish, they all go and anchor on him. But anyway, let's head over to Western Port, and apologies if we repeat our hotspots from week to week, but these are the best places. And you saw in Catch of the Week what's going on the Tyab Bank. There are some monster calamari at the Tyab Bank right now.
Definitely. And please just fish big jigs.
Yeah.
3.5s, 4s.
Baited jigs.
You can do that too.
Yeah, we can report some baited jigs.
And a big bait, a big silver whiting. Don't muck around with the small stuff. There's some big squid there.
People need to, Charlie, when they're fishing, say, the middle spit or whatever, fishing for King George whiting or even a snapper, put a bait out on a float, 2 or 3 metres underneath, because you'll get the calamari coming up, even following your snapper this time of year, or your whiting. So have a bait out ready and waiting. You're mad if you don't. The capital. Apologies to the population of this lovely little town down south on Western Port, Coronella, but it's going to be busy there this weekend because the Coronella snapper are on the bite and everybody's going to be heading there. So it doesn't matter because it's good for fishing,
And
and
there's
everyone will be
some
getting
good
down
fish
there.
coming there last week too.
Absolutely. Why
Big
wouldn't you
fish.
go down there? All right, let's head out into the countryside, and this is one of my favourite places, boys. Absolutely love it this time of year. The water's just starting to clear. We haven't had a lot of rain in the last 2 weeks, but the Delatite River is fishing sensationally for trout. It's just absolutely beautiful up there at the moment.
Yep.
You're talking in the river, Dave?
In the river, not the
not
Delatite
the
arm. I'm talking in the river. Go if you can get up 1 to 2 kilometres from where the river enters Lake Eildon proper.
Yeah.
Just follow the dirt roads, get up there, get on Google Maps, have a look at where the river crosses the roads, the little dirt roads that head up that way.
Or if you've got one of those books from last year's Trout Festival.
Conference. Yeah, Trout Conference, yeah.
That's right. Trout
Well,
Conference.
I think we've heard certainly last year, the Delatite was the most productive river of all the rivers
and it was up there
there.
for size of fish too, the Delatite, wasn't
Absolutely
it?
it was.
I remember that.
And this is a great time of year to do it. So
Get
up to the Delatite. We'll be up there in a few weeks, boys, for the Trout Conference, and we're going to fish one of those rivers, the Delatite or the Howker. Depends when they tell us what's the most productive.
We'll see what happens when we get the little
grasshoppers.
And the last one is Anderson's Inlet. I'm told down at Inverloch is absolutely on fire with big salmon at the moment, boys.
And you'll catch them off that little jetty there, and you'll catch them off the beach everywhere. Just have a look for that, the big black cloud that you see at Blair Gowrie. You'll see it at Nando's as well.
Watch the cloud and cast in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cast into the clouds.
Fast like this, like through the water.
As fast as you can wind.
As fast as you want.
Oh, yes. We're just being told that Anderson's Inlet has been renamed the Mitchell River.
Oh, righto.
Because somehow the Mitchell River got written across the street sign. Someone's graffitied Anderson's Inlet. But anyway, just ignore that.
Someone really doesn't want people fishing Nando's. I mean, the Mitchell River's fishing real good.
Now, Ads, I want you to repeat a little story that you said before during the ad break. We were talking about your favourite reel.
Yep.
Tell us the experience you had with that favourite reel of yours.
Well, the Twin Power FB became my favourite reel because it holds a little bit of sentimental value.
Yeah.
When I very first started working at Tackle World in Cranbourne, which is nearly 11 years ago, that was the very first reel I bought after my trial period had finished.
Pinch it, buy it.
No, I bought it. And and the night that I bought it, I went down to Patterson River, and at 3 a.m. caught my very first mulloway on that reel. So it is just a reel that I will never ever get rid of.
Oh, you'll remember that.
And so after that, I went and bought a 2500 size as well, and I've still got that too, and it'll always be it. There's just something about that reel. I mean, you compare it to technology these days, and it doesn't compare.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I still use it. Mainly the 2500 now, but I still use it, and I'll never ever get rid of it.
Trouble is, it'll always end up in a garage sale with stuff the kids put out. That's his own reel, in the garage sale.
$100, I think they were. Reports today, boys, that that boat ramp we showed on the program last week, wasn't it? Where they bulldozed all the sand in.
They just pushed it towards the water.
Yeah, the wading pool.
Yeah, well, big news.
Yeah.
It's still the same. No. But I think it's the Capel Sound Committee of Management run the Tutla boat ramp, and they couldn't give us stuff.
I wouldn't call it running it.
No, well, they're not running it. I was talking to one of the boys that launches down there today, and he said, I think it's $120 for your season's pass, and he is just wasting money. Like he's bought a yearly pass. They sell them in November, and it's meant to go right through to the following November, and they bulldozed all the sand down the end. I don't get these people that are meant to be running boat ramps, and they just don't give us stuff.
And if you went in there with a bunch of fishermen with spades, you'd probably get
fined.
For moving.
Yeah.
They call it something. How'd you go? They couldn't give us stuff. That's what you said.
They could not give stuff. Charlie, do you ever have any trouble with boat ramps in the country?
Oh, we do.
They're just digging you into the bank. That's all.
Yeah, we do. That's right. Get the bulldozer. Put D9 down here. It's more a few fallen trees, things like that. Plus, access has probably been. There's one in Shepparton near one of the spots here. It's actually been dropped off. Big rocks in front of it, which is a real shame. At the rapids just behind the cemetery. And I don't know why, but there's actually, the River Red Gum Management Plan is out now, and there's a lot of stealth in there that says dispersed camping can only be done where there's a fire pit. Now, that's something to look out for, and you should put in, it's the 10th of this month, you can reply to it. Have a look, because Parks or the people doing this Red Gum report, by stealth, are going to stop you disperse camping along the Goulburn and the Ovens River. If there's not a fire pit there, they won't call it disperse camping. They'll start to corral people in there. Very sneaky of them.
Why do these bureaucrats want to stop us from doing everything?
Well, I don't know. It's some bureaucrats, some office,
pencil pusher
jumpers,
bankers,
backdoors, and I don't know. It just seems to be they're bent on
stopping things, stopping fun,
restricting access.
Yeah.
Restricting access and corralling people, because they turned a lot of that area into national park for tourism, and now they're restricting them.
There you go. It's not good, but that's it for Talking Fishing. We hope you enjoyed the show. The footy's over, and the first non-football weekend is looking like cracking weather for fishing. Make sure you send us your pics if you land a big one. Until we see you again next Tuesday on Talking Fishing, please stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good